Alright, so it's time to do a new experiment. So, if any of you guys are dosing carbon, then I'm sure that this is a common problem. And the problem is all this snot that forms on everything. You can see it's on the glass. Now, I was doing an experiment, so to say, to begin with. I had my skimmer set up in this tank, um, and and I was dosing directly into this tank, and I was dosing pretty heavy. And the reason why I was dosing this tank, there's really nothing in it, just a few basically garbage coral and an anemone down there. And the reason why is because I knew about this snot and I didn't want to get it in my main display tank. So it worked. My display tank is totally clean. No, none of that stuff is formed on anything. Not on the acrylic, not on the rock, not on anything. So here's my new experiment. What I'm going to do is, rather than dose to this tank, what I'm going to do is actually, I've got my dosing pipe set up so that it's going to dose into the overflow of this tank. Now, because of the difference in height here between this tank and my sand filter, my overflow, or my water in my overflow, stays pretty high. But so instead of dosing, like I said, into this, I'm going to dose into this overflow. That's going to give me some water volume here. And then what that's going to do is that's going to drain directly into the sand filter. So that being said, if the bacteria that's going to grow as a result of the dosing vinegar, and by the way too, I'm not running my skimmer anymore. As you can see, it's turned off and it's going to stay off. So that being said, if the bacteria that is growing as a result of all this dosing, and I'm going to dose the same amount as I was dosing into this 150, just into the overflow, I should start to see that snot form in my main tank if it's not catching it. But you know what? My guess is it's going to do just like it did before. My sand filter is going to plug up quite a bit more than it usually does if I'm not dosing, and I'm just going to have to backflush it once a little bit more, which will not bother me a bit. And then if I don't see any of this stuff forming like I am in this 150, then I'm going to know that this sand filter is more efficient than catching the bacteria than a skimmer, because I've seen systems that they have a big skimmer, not a lot of fish, so they don't have to dose as much, and their display tank, is just coated in the stuff. Every little bit of the rock, the pumps, everything would just be coated in this white mulm material. So what I'm going to do is, I got the doser set up and running now. I'm going to dose 80 mils a day to this system into the overflow, and then we'll see how it goes. I'm going to backflush this tonight too. It's been 2 or 3 days since I backflushed it, so I'm going to backflush it tonight, give it a fresh start, and then I'll keep you guys updated as this goes on. I'm hoping now that just by dosing this and having my chaeto growing in my sump, that should maintain the system. And I'm going to try going skimmerless, guys. I have before, and I'm going to try it again. If I see the system starting to hurt, then we'll look at something different at that time. But for right now, I'm just going to leave it as is. You can see the system's doing excellent. The fish are all super healthy. I had a slight outbreak of ick here a few days ago, but it all cleared up on its own, so in the clear now. As you can see now too, guys, I got quite a bit of SPS in here. There's little frags of it here and there throughout the tank. Nice chunk up here in the corner right here. Just the little bits here and there throughout the tank. There's another chunk there. This one right here there's one right here on the top of this rock I've had for a few days, and I'm seeing just there's a little tip right here. It's hard to bring it in, but I'm watching this, and it seems like it's getting bigger just in the last, and I've only had it maybe a week or two at the most, and since the nitrates or the phosphates went down, I'm sure it's grown pretty near 1/8 of an inch or more. So time will tell, though. I know the other stuff is growing, and like I said, everything looks real happy and healthy, so just go from there. Don't see this guy very often. He's getting big. This big eel. I know the coralline's starting to grow on the back of the tank too, in spots, especially over here on this side. So hopefully you guys had fun watching. Hopefully you'll keep tuning in to my videos, and I thank you for watching this one.